Hello, I'm retired Battalion Chief Larry Cockman from the Greensboro, North Carolina Fire Department History Book Committee. We're here today at the Greensboro Historical Museum. I'm standing in front of the General Green, the first steam pumper, or as they called it back then, the steamer. Today, December 9th, 2019, we are starting a new tradition of recording and preserving the heritage and culture of our retirees. Our retirees have contributed so much to the success of our great fire department. Their stories retire with them and are sometimes gone forever when they pass away. They will share their emergency calls that will always be a part of their memories forever. So sit back and listen as they carry us through their journey in the Greensboro Fire Department.
I knew I didn't come to the fire department to get rich. I came to the fire department to make a difference. And because you can't put a price on saving someone's life. And that's what meant the most to me about being on the fire department.
Makes you feel good that you were able to do something, because nobody ever called you unless they really needed your help. And that was one of the things about the fire service, I think, is if they call you, somebody's in trouble.
The first day I went to work, on September 1st, 1956, Captain Stubblefield come in, and I was standing up against the radiator, scared to death, and he walked by me, he looked me up and down, he didn't speak, he didn't say welcome to the company or nothing, he just walked right on by me. I said, what in the world have I got myself into?
Firefighting is a dangerous job. I mean, if you don't have faith and you're dealing with danger day in and day out and not knowing that next call is going to involve.
It's a great job, and you will develop friends that will last the rest of your life.
Well, you know, I had a lot of things to be proud of, because I was one that came from segregation to integration in the fire department, and I thought that was a good moment. And then I also came from the tailboard to the back, from the back of the department, all the way to the top of the department.
Back here, top pay I think was $400, and I thought if I ever make $400, I can buy anything I want.
In the 9/11 call, I just knew how many firefighters died there, and that was really impressive, you know, to think that many. 343 firefighters died in that fire. And I've got a sticker on the side of my truck that says 343. I've worn that ever since, and always will.
Engine Company number 414 Ashburn Street in South Greensboro. It was a very proper, back then, you didn't close the doors, you didn't lock the doors, because it was a great highfalutin area back down in there. And the first year I was there, Engine Company number 4 was a leading company, which has always been the leading company in calls, and we wrote 479 calls that year.
I was really impressed with the fire department, and I told my wife, I said, it's the nicest bunch of guys I've ever run into. Of course, I've been a Pete Oil and I've been in the Navy, I've been in high school and that kind of stuff, but they hired good people.
And I'm sure that today's firefighters wear many different hats, doing different things, still staying in the public eye.
I can say this, go back military a little bit, Fort Bliss, Texas. There's a sergeant down there, and I've lived with this ever since. He said, I'm a firm believer in you learns by doing. And I've carried that through my life, and I think it plays heavily into the fire department, and you can learn from anyone and everyone.
It's what's in the heart. It's not the color of your skin or anything else.
Glenn Johnson was climbing an aerial ladder, and we thought the power lines had been turned off by Duke Power, and the ladder got tangled up in the lines, and it electrocuted Glenn and stopped his heart. And when we got him back down, and like I say, there were several of us that did this, but Charlie Jones and I ended up doing the CPR, and we brought him back.
Who is most likely to really give you their best and lay their life down? Someone who just comes and it's a job, they work with you, or someone who loves you like family? You know, and that was evident on the Elm Street fire that happened, you know, back several years ago, you know, and you watched what took place, you know, and how everybody bonded. I mean, that was family. Those crews were close to each other.
Chief Osmond's favorite thing was, like, when we were in the classroom, we couldn't even look out the window. When we were on that drill ground, if he caught you looking out to the street at a fire truck or something go by, his thing was, hey, if out there is more important than what I'm trying to teach you, then out there is where you need to be. This was his motto. So there was no joking, but we had a good time. There was a lot of stuff we had to learn, and we learned it. We didn't know it was a short period of time, but 6 weeks is not a long time to learn all the stuff that they throw at you in training.
Firehouse living is different from what you think. You're all in the same bedroom, and you know, some lay down and maybe want to go to bed, and some of them didn't want to. Some of them want to play around, wrestle, and all that stuff. It just depends on who it was, and you know what crew you were at and where you were at.
I was working the night Jesse Gray got backed over, and it really, really upset me for a long time. And knowing how Fred Lawrence was the driver, it really, I mean, I don't know how he ever got over it. I don't think he did, but it wasn't his fault. I mean, it just wasn't his fault. They told him to back up, and he did.
If I was going to talk to a recruit class, a rookie class, and they came on the fire department, my charge to them would be to tell them that, look, you're fixing to undertake an occupation or a job here that's like no other that you'll ever have in your life. You're out here not only to work as a team with other men and women, but you're out here saving people's lives. When they have a bad day, everybody's running away, you're going in. So you got to have the stamina, the care, the experience, the knowledge that you're going to be taken care of, because you get killed. It's not a play game out here. But if you apply yourself, you got a chance to be the chief. If you don't apply yourself, you'll be on the back of the truck, or you'll leave this job because you won't be happy. You'll be miserable every day you come in.
Well, as I've told many people, being a firefighter to me is the greatest thing in the world, because once everybody gets suited up, you all look the same. And when you're in the building and you can't see your hand in front of your face, you don't care what gender, you don't care what color, you don't care what religion. You've got your friend in there, and you've got somebody sticking right beside of you. Why did 343 firefighters die on 9/11? It's because they wasn't going to let their friends down. They were going to be right there with them through thick and thin. And that's what I loved about the fire service.
Exactly, but I remember the first day I was at 11, we had 4 calls after midnight, and 2 of them were working fires, and I thought, is this the way it's going to be every day down here? I said, I'm not so sure this is what I signed up for, but it was good. I wouldn't have it any other way.
But I actually think that seeing the people that you worked with grow and get confidence, to me, was one of the things that was a big deal to me.
As a fireman, now Vic Stockard was drowned, as you know, and he was working. In fact, I was supposed to work for him the day that he didn't come to work, that he drowned. Well, if they'd have died on a fire, it would have been different. But Vic died mowing grass around his pond, and a tractor turned over with him.
Oh, we was in the first training class in a new building, and we was the first ones to ever do it on an hourly basis instead of a working training. And in fact, it wasn't all completed. They were still working on things. We didn't have a smoke lab, different things. Didn't have a life net. We found that out early. And so it was very enjoyable. We had a wonderful time.
But being able to come away and see that you actually helped somebody when you did help somebody, it was a rewarding feeling to be able to be there. And no one wanted anybody to be injured or lose their property or anything like that. But when you was able to help and make something halfway good out of something terribly wrong or bad or their worst day to them in their life, and you was able to help them a little bit, it gave you a good warm feeling.
I would do it all over again.
Okay.
Because I loved the department. I used to tell my wife, I said, it's kind of hard to know the difference between loving you and loving the department. I said, I know you are my main squeeze, but the department, I think I love it just almost as much. I really love the departments, and I felt that I never worked a day in my life that I didn't enjoy something about it.
Chief Nick's always said, nobody cares how much you know until they know how much you care. I really think that's an awesome statement.
My starting salary, I still have my first pay stub, actually several pay stubs of $513 a month, and thought I was a millionaire at that time.
No, in those days, they only had Rescue 1 and Rescue 2, and if you rarely went on a call of any kind. You didn't go on any medical calls. The ambulances run out of the funeral homes, and that sounds scary, but it's the only thing I did was they'd say, you go on rescue today. I was at Central Rescue 1, and I rode several calls with whoever was driving, and I know.
Well, about one of the proudest things I think I have done, what I did as far as establishing a record system for the fire equipment here and getting all the trucks up to date, that was a big job. But about the proudest thing was starting that mechanic school. It opened the door for a lot of people.
This is when Chief Honeycutt, and I kept this with me my entire career. He said, the person that doesn't do anything seldom makes a mistake. He said, and if that's the only mistake you ever make, you'll be all right. And I kept that. He said, it's the person that doesn't do anything that never makes a mistake. And if that's the biggest mistake you ever make, you'll be all right.
Chief Honeycutt.
Chief Honeycutt, he's the one who told me that, and I told that to a bunch of people during my career. I said, hey, you're going to make some errors if you do something.
But another big thing that I liked about the training part of it was, and what I could see coming down the road is you don't know from this minute to the next minute what we're going to be doing or what's going to happen. Sometimes that's good and sometimes it wasn't good, but I like the fact that you never got in a rut. You're always, something was a little different all the time, and you were doing something a little different that required a little something different, even from the classroom work to the physical part on the drill ground.
To me, a firefighter, police officer, paramedic, a soldier, clergy, I think that's a calling. I don't think you wake up one day and just say, oh, I'm going to be a fireman. I think it's something that you migrate to, you're drawn to.
I started training, and then 3 days later they done the funeral, and it was Jesse Gray, and we had to go to that funeral. And it was so sad seeing that widow so sorrowful, crying. And I thought to myself, is this what I want? Is this what I want? It makes you second guess some of the things.
The thing that I always liked the old stations where all the beds fell down in the same room. You know, you had all the beds laid out to where you went to bed at night with all your brothers in the same room. And you would talk and you would ask questions and you would pick and carry on, watch a movie, whatever. You know, and like I said, you know, you ate together. And one of the things that I always enjoyed was that, depends on what crew you had. You know, not everybody was as tight, but I had some really good groups where we would get together the next day and we'd go bowling.
And the guys now think I'm telling a story, but we wrote 479 calls. And the first day of spring, the doors was opened up because we had to open doors from like the horse-drawn. And Captain Stubblefield was captain. And,
That was your first captain?
No, Sprinkle was my captain, first captain, but Captain Stubblefield run the station. He was bigger around than he was tall. And we never closed them until fall. We'd go out at night, leave them open, go to bed at night, leave them open. We never closed the doors.
And as long as they know you care, it goes a long way. And that goes all the way up the ladder. Take care of the people that the good Lord put under you, and things will make a big difference in years to come.
We hope you enjoyed watching these documentaries. It was our goal to share and preserve the memories of our retired Greensboro firefighters. It is our desire that these documentaries will inspire future generations to continue the brotherhood, sisterhood, and camaraderie while always striving for excellence in their careers. While fire apparatus, equipment, and technology have improved, several things will always remain the same. The courage and bravery it takes to mitigate natural and man-made disasters will always be a part of the job. Although our retirees are no longer a physical part of the GFD world, a giant piece of each retiree's memories have been shared with you today. These memories will be in their hearts and minds forever. A special thank you goes out to Captain Harold Haney for his many long hours of recording and editing. Thank you, Harold. A job well done.